Are you freaking out? Because I certainly am. Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. This is my first rendition of the mid-year freakout tag. I'm so excited for this because, I wasn't part of booktube last year when this would have been appropriate to make, like in June or July. I started September of last year, so this is the first time I get to do this, but I'm really excited. I've been loving watching everybody's videos of this, and now it's my turn. Even though it's a little late, but we don't even talk about it. And also, I'm in a different location than my usual sit-down videos. I'm at my boyfriend's mom's place. I don't know how to fucking segue into this, so like, let's just start. I have all my answers right here typed up on my notes so I don't forget anything. So the first one is pretty simple. What have been my favorite books so far this year? My number one favorite book this year, I have not even talked about like to you guys because I'm such a great YouTuber and I forgot. It's more like I haven't been doing my wrap-ups like I used to. The last wrap-up I did was in January. I'm bad at this, but now here we are talking about a book that I absolutely loved. All these books that I absolutely loved. I read The Pisces by Melissa Broder in February. So, like, literally right after I, realized wrap-ups were a little too much for me at the moment. I want to get back into doing wrap-ups, trust, but gotta take it one step at a time. So The Pisces by Melissa Broder. I absolutely love this book. Even though it's a little bit weird, but my review for it on Goodreads was simply, did I just find my new favorite book of all time? Because that's exactly how I felt right after I read it. Basically, it's like about a woman who is pretty lonely and she's like kind of just chilling on her own. I was here for this main character. Don't mind the dogs. Sophie, what are you talking about? Why are you barking so much? Sam just yelled stop. Sometimes she just goes crazy and barks, but she knows better. Anyway, I was more here for this weird ass main character. She was kind of the worst, and her mindset, her mentality, her philosophy on life, if you will, was so intriguing to look at. I don't agree with it necessarily. I hated some things that she did, like despised things that she did. But boy, oh boy, if it wasn't entertaining and if it wasn't insightful in many ways, and as well as like the way Melissa Broder writes is everything. She's one of my favorite authors. I have yet to read So Sad Today. I don't know what's keeping me from reading this yet. Actually, I do know. I don't have a copy of it. But I absolutely loved Milkfed, and then I read The Pisces and absolutely loved it, and it's her writing style, her characters that she makes. It's just so real, so raw, and it's everything. I will say The Pisces is not for everyone. Like, if I had to introduce it, I would literally be like, yeah, a woman fucks a merman. And it's a little weird. It's a little, what the fuck is happening the entire time? But I'm here for it. And I love the way that Melissa Broder writes about sex. I've said that before, like in a video, but I don't know how she does it, but it's kind of like amazing. Like, it's the only time where I can read it without like cringing. So there's that. Thank you, Melissa Broder, for that one. But maybe this is more about me. My next favorite book is Elena Knows. I actually read this because I read all of the International Booker Prize books except for 3. And this was probably my favorite one from it. It's about a woman and her daughter is the only one who kind of cared about her, but they had a really rocky, weird, toxic daughter-mother relationship, and then she is found dead. Her daughter is found dead, like, and they're all like, she committed suicide on the bell tower, and Elena is like, no, I know that she fucking didn't. That is not something my daughter would do. She would never come to the bell tower while training. She wouldn't kill herself. All of this stuff. And then it kind of goes back in between times where she's like talking, like having conversations with her daughter, so you can see the turmoil of which their relationship was. And then it also is like kind of the grief of missing her daughter, but it's kind of like denial there too. And then it's like, of course, she's not doing well in her own mind. It's a very short book. It's like 150 pages, and every single word of it is spectacular. I absolutely loved it. I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to read this book. Elena has Parkinson's disease, so she's going through that while she's also like going on a journey to find who might know anything about Elena. Who might know anything about her daughter Rita. And like I said, it goes back in time, showing their relationship versus like showing what she's trying to do or where she's trying to go. There's an end goal. She's trying to find somebody, and then when she finds that somebody, something happens, whatever. That's kind of the end of the book, so I'm not gonna like say what it is. The next book I also read for the International Booker Prize. It is Tome of Sand. I absolutely love this book, although it's a little bit of a thickie, but it is a very unique story about a dying mother who, wow, is there a theme in this? That's kind of, I don't like that. I don't like that. Get it away. I didn't mean for it to be this weird, like, dark theme, but I guess that's what I'm drawn to. It talks about the mother's kids, and it shows them, and it shows, like, the journey. Like, the mom is, like, in bed. She's very sick for the first 200 pages or so. And then she finally gets up, and the book kind of gets going, you know what I mean? And I absolutely loved it. Although it's a really unique way of writing, like it's a very unique writing style, and it took a bit to get into, but once you get into it, I mean, hopefully you're here for it. I actually have that book here physically with me. My boyfriend is going to read it. It's actually downstairs, so I'm not going to go get it, but my boyfriend is going to read it, and I hope he loves it as much as I do. Oh yeah, and also it won the Booker Prize, by the way. As it should. I predicted that it would win, and it did. And then the next one I actually read this month, and it's A Psalm for the Wild Built. And this is a very, very short story that's going to be an entire series, and it's set in the future when we apparently, as a collective society, started making robots, and like AIs, and they were very, very like they had their own kind of like passions and interests, and so it's very real, but they have a very interest-based system where it's like, for example, like a robot could just like stare at fire for like hours on end and be so completely content because that's like an interest of theirs, like fire. And the person who we follow, the robot that we follow in this book, is super intrigued by bugs, and it knows all about bugs, and it was talking to the monk. I forgot the person's name, but they're a monk, and they found the robot, and this is the first time that a robot and a human are meeting in 200 years, and they are off on a journey together, and that's where we ended in the first one. So I'm very, very excited to pick up the second one and just delve through in that. I'm so sad that they're so short. I would love an entire lengthy book about these characters. I would absolutely love it. I love them. Okay, those are my favorite books. That was a lot. Okay, the next question is best sequel, and I gotta be honest, I've only read one sequel so far this year. I plan on reading more. I literally am reading a sequel as we speak. Like, I'm reading the second one for A Curious Beginning, the Veronica Speedwell series, but I haven't read it yet. I'm like 6 pages in, so like, ugh. Lucky for me, the one sequel that I have read, I absolutely adored. And that is A Story of a New Name by Elena Ferrante. It's the second one to my Brilliant Friend series, the Neapolitan series, if you will. And I absolutely loved it. Just to see, okay, I get cut up sometimes. Just to see, just to know where we ended in My Brilliant Friend with these two characters, Elena and Ava. Wait, what's her name? Elena and Leela, just to see where they were ended in the first book and then versus the second book is crazy to think about. This book did make me cry a little bit, and I am so excited to read the next one, the third one. It's a little sad, but also it's very just like a literary fiction, like just vibes, just people growing, doing their thing, and going where life decides to take them or fate decides to take them. And that is existential as fuck to me, but at the same time, it's just my go-to. That's just the type of thing that I absolutely love. So here we are. I'm glad that I read the second one, and I'm so excited to continue on with the third one. I'm gonna be so sad when the series is over. The next question is new books that I haven't read yet, but I've been wanting to get to. And there's quite a few. I actually have some here that I've been meaning to get to. One of them being You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty. I absolutely love the idea of this book. I haven't read it yet, and I do plan on reading it super soon. Another one is Sea of Tranquility. I haven't read this one yet. But I am so completely looking forward to it. Another one is the classic. It's so bad that I haven't read this yet. La Bona. I actually haven't taken this out of my bag for like 2 weeks. So yeah, I want to do a whole vlog on this, but I just haven't had the time to do so yet. So I'm waiting for the time for me to vlog this experience. Another one is Heartbroke by Chelsea Beaker. I've been wanting to get to this one. It's by the same person who wrote Godshot. I'm here for that. It's a short story collection. Hopefully I love it. Well, actually, I started it on Libby forever ago, like literally like 4 or 5 weeks ago. So it's gone now. Like I let it expire, but I read the first story and I was very intrigued by it. That's the one thing about short story collections though, because it's like, okay, well, what if I like love a story so much and then that's it, it's like a 30-page experience and then never again. And I kind of hate that. Like if I'm really thinking of a book of a story that resonated or that I really liked, like I don't know, that's kind of why I avoid short story collections low-key. Then another one that I've been really wanting to read, I'm probably gonna read sometime soon, like this week, Mercy Street. I am very excited for this book. Oh, and another one just because it's here. Tomorrow. I'm here for this. Okay. The next question is the most anticipated read. One of them is Bloodmarked, which is the sequel for Legendborn, which I just finished reading 2 days ago and absolutely loved it. I was not expecting to love it as much as I did, but I did, and so I'm really excited for the second one to come out. Another book that I'm really looking forward to is this book called Mika in Real Life, and it's about a girl who is adopted and then her biological mother reaches out and Mika kind of lies, which I hate lying. I hate a liar. I hate miscommunication. So hopefully this isn't like so drawn out. I hope it's more a story of her connecting with her biological mother than it is about like miscommunication of this lie that she built, which is basically that she has herself put more together than she actually does. But she tells her biological mother that because like what else are you supposed to tell your biological mother who you haven't seen in years, right? I'm really excited to read this one because fun fact, I'm adopted and I feel like I can kind of relate to that. Like I'm not doing much with my life, and if my mother asked me, we're friends on Facebook, so sometimes we like message each other here and there, but if she asked to hang out with me or anything, or if she like asked me like how I'm doing, like if she just really wanted to know what I was doing in my life, I don't know what I would say. Ain't in school, ain't have a job, like I do booktubes sometimes. I'm really trying to up it with this one, but like even that I don't do the best with. So it's like I wouldn't lie, of course. If you lie, you have to keep up with that lie, and then you're fucked over. That doesn't make sense. People always think they're clever. I think this is why I don't like lying. People think they're clever enough to get away with it. You're not. You're not. Stop lying. Everybody stop lying. Maybe that's just my autism coming out and being like, why must you do such things? So hopefully, like I just said, it's not about miscommunication. It's more about like, I hope that it talks more about Mika's like internalized like, holy fuck, like I don't know what I'm doing with my life, and then my biological mother. Like, I hope it's more a story about that than lying. Look, I never thought this was gonna come out of my mouth, but there's a book by Stephen King coming out. It's a fantasy book called Fairy Tales, and it intrigues me. It's about like a teenage boy who like goes through different worlds. That used to be my favorite fucking thing when I was younger. I love that shit. I ate it up, so I hope to like kind of relive that vibe while reading this new Stephen King novel if I get to it. I don't know. Stephen King. There's a few books that I'm planning on reading by him, but he's not an author that I care for much. I don't know. We'll see. The next question is biggest disappointment. One of them is Vladimir. This book I was anticipating so much, but I read it, gave it a 3-star. It was okay. Like, it wasn't what I expected at all. It was a lot shorter than I expected. Like, I feel like it ended abruptly, kind of. And, it just didn't provide the commentary I thought it would. So, overall, kind of shit. I didn't understand the point of the book exactly. And this is a book that I was anticipating. I actually started I have a vlog clip for it, but I haven't finished that vlog yet. I had green hair then. It was a bit ago when I read it. A few months ago. But I still have that vlog footage, and hopefully if I ever get my shit together, I can like edit it and you guys can see my raw opinions on how I felt about Vladimir, but it just definitely fell flat for me. Cherish Farah is another one where it's exactly like that. Very anticipated read. I talked about it in my anticipated read video, and it kind of just fell flat. It wasn't anything special. It was kind of, even this one kind of felt rushed. It was very mundane. It was very, like, the way that it was marketed versus what I got is very different, and I wasn't here for that. So that's another disappointment. Biggest surprise. Well, the next two that I'm about to say, well, one of them's right here, Legendborn. This is a big surprise, and another one is Black Leopard Red Wolf. It's hard for me to remember. These two are both SFF, science fiction fantasy moments, and I'm here. I'm in my SFF fucking era. This has never happened before, so that was a big surprise for me, and I'm glad that I get to delve into this new genre that I like kind of never touched before, because I thought it was like either intimidating or like I just thought I wasn't gonna like it. But maybe I just need to find the right things, because those two hit it for me. Those two gave me something I needed. Another one that I absolutely, like, that I was really surprised with was A Curious Beginning, Veronica Speedwell. I picked it up. I wasn't expecting that much, but I know that Lala talked about it in one of her videos. I know that people have been kind of raving about it, and so I was like, whatever, I'll see what it's about. I read it, absolutely loved it. I actually have a vlog for like where I read this. Like, it wasn't only this book, but I happened to read it in it, but it's also not uploaded yet. It's not finished editing yet. I also had green hair in that one. Yeah, okay, we get it. I'm bad at this. Look, I'm getting my shit together, I promise you. Another big surprise was The Swimmers. I started reading this, and then I was like, I almost DNF'd it. I was like, I don't really know what the fuck the point is. I was talking to my boyfriend about it. I was like, what the hell? And then it got serious. And then it got real. And then it got right. And I was like, holy fuck, this author did something amazing. Is this experimental and new? And I put, maybe that's dramatic, but my review on Goodreads, I put like a definition for a word. That's the word is sonder, and it's basically like the realization that everybody is living their own life, doing their own thing, while you as well are doing your own thing. And this book, The Swimmers, just was exactly that. That's the only way I can define it, because at the very beginning it's talking about all the types of different swimmers that all went to this specific pool. They have like the fast lane people and the slow lane people and the medium lane people, and it goes into detail about all of that, and it goes into detail about what happens if you see each other on the street and not like swimming and like all this shit. I don't know. All I'm saying is it's a short ass book and y'all better fucking read it. That's what I'm saying. And then it takes a twist talking about what happens after something happened in the pool. So basically there's a hole that is created in the pool, and people are like, holy fuck, like what is this? And then the pool has to be closed. And so the one thing that these people had left to them, how do they deal with it? Find out in the book. When you read it, it's so short, and so I literally actually just listened to it on audiobook, and literally just sitting on my couch listening to an audiobook. It was only a 2-hour long audiobook. It was amazing. I loved it so fucking much. Read it. Favorite new author? Well, going right with the swimmers, I also read the Buddha in the Attic, which is also by the same person. Her name is Julie Otsuka. She has one more book that I haven't read yet, but I plan on reading, because the Buddha in the Attic is also another really, really short book. It was like another 2-hour audio experience, and it was also like kind of the same thing. It was you will definitely see Julie Otsuka has a very specific writing. Hello. In case you were wondering, yes, it is the next day. Basically what happened was my phone said it didn't have any storage, and it kind of like stopped recording randomly. That has never happened before, and it was just rude. And so I didn't really do anything after that yesterday. Oh, Chubbs, you're perfectly in frame. Look at that. So that's my consolation for my mishaps, or my phone's mishaps, I don't know. But I am here to continue on. I have to hurry this up because I have to edit this section so that it can be uploaded today, Sunday, July 10th. So let's get to it, shall we? I was in the middle of talking about my new favorite authors, and I was talking about Julie Otsuka and how I haven't read one of her books, but she has a very unique writing style, and I plan on reading the last one and every book that comes out by her. I really enjoyed those experiences. Another new author for me is Katrina Ward. I have read Last House on Needless Street and Sundial, and both of them are very, very intriguing horror / thriller vibes. It's something that I've never seen before. The plot twists are unique, and I absolutely love that about Katrina Ward. I have other books by her to read. I don't really know all the title of them, but that's... she's making noise over here. That's another person who I have read from recently who is new to me. And then also I have here Jonathan Franzen. Look, hear me out. I have a few books by him that I want to read. I read Crossroads this year. Chubbs, you just stabbed me. I read Crossroads this year, and that's going to be a trilogy, which I'm really excited for. And then there's also like his other books that are exactly like Crossroads, with like a really, really thick book with like just a story about a person or family. I absolutely love that. So I want to read all his other ones like that. And I'm actually going to do a vlog probably reading the books that I want to read from Jonathan Franzen. I'm not here saying I want to read all of his books. Some of them are like essay collections. Some of them are like, there's like a memoir. Maybe I'll get to that. Maybe not though, you know? The next one is newest fictional crush. Look, let's get this out of the way. I don't get fictional crushes, like that's not a thing that happens. But did somebody just say Tracker from Black Leopard Red Wolf? Did I hear that? Oh, crazy. No, that is, he was, if I had to answer this question, it would be Tracker. That's his name. He doesn't really have a name, but he's kind of sexy. So, no, he was, you know, he was just doing his thing, and I fuck with that. You know, he's pretty cool. And I think it helped. I was listening to it with the audiobook. I think it helped that, like, the audiobook narrator had, like, an amazing voice, and I, like, imagined the voice and Tracker and, like, all that combo. I kind of imagined him looking like the author, low-key. But I don't know. If I had to answer a question, that would be it. Also, maybe possibly Rooney from Loveless. I just finished that book like the other day, yesterday. And you know, she's cool, I guess. I really don't have an answer for that. Like, most of the time it's like it's not like that for me. I don't know. The next question is newest favorite fictional character, and I have a few for this. One of them is Candace from the Mysterious Benedict Society. She is so cool. She's kind of badass. I love that for her. She is there's this reveal at the end of the first book. This is a middle grade series, by the way, and I mean, if you haven't heard of it, what are you doing for real? I didn't hear about it until like this year, to be honest, but it's kind of like a classic for YA. Like, it was like out in the 80s or something, I don't know. Anyway, there's this reveal of Candace at the end of the first book, and I was like, oh shit, she's my favorite. That made her my instant favorite, because at first I was like, okay, she's so annoying, she's this, she's that, she's the other thing, and then the reveal came through and I was like, oh, she's badass, she's amazing, she's hilarious, she's so smart, she's the most clever out of the group. Like the guy said, like Mr. Benedict literally said, he was like, she might be the smartest of us all, or like something like that. And yeah, you could say that. I loved her. Another one is the woman from this book that I had read called A Room Called Earth. She doesn't have a name, so there's that. But basically, she, in A Room Called Earth, we follow her in Melbourne on Christmas Eve or something. Like, she's going to a Christmas party and she is just vibing. She's just doing her thing. She's autistic and we are in her head the entire time. She's hilarious and snarky and witty, and like also, like, there were so many times where I was like not highlighting but underlining and tabbing like things that she said, because her philosophy or like the way she would say the thing or just like what she thought was so like appealing and thoughtful. And I was just like, and it was just continuously that this entire book, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the vibes of the book. Like, the vibes remain. Like, you know, when you talk about a book and you can feel how you felt, like, that's kind of how I feel right now. So I really like that, and I plan on reading it again. It's a great autistic representation, I think. Like, it's just, I mean, it's pretty simple, and it's just a person being a person, and I love that. And then I also have Ghost from Ghost, like the book by Jason Reynolds. I absolutely loved Ghost. I love the story. It's like a kind of a coming of age, like a sprinkle of coming of age, but like he conquers through adversity, and I absolutely love it. I'm here for Ghost. This is a book that made me cry. I love that book. I want to continue on in the series, but I don't know if I'm gonna love it as much as I loved that first one. Like, that first one could be a standalone for me. And I'd be fine with that. I love Jason Reynolds. I do want to read all his books, so I guess that would kind of not work. But okay, here we are. A book that made you cry. Well, where do we start? Should I just like run through a list? Hi, I'm a sensitive person. I'm a water sign. What can I say? And I cry at things, most of the time embarrassing things. Like, nobody else is crying here. Why are you? Nobody else thinks it's as sad as you do, or as happy, or as like upsetting. Like, no, like, I'm always the one on the extreme end of emotions. And so I feel the same way with books. But then I was like actually thinking about all the books that made me cry. I'm like, maybe it's not that many, but it's still enough. So one of them, I already said this actually, is The Story of a New Name. I cried for that because of how it ended and where we were, and I cried in the middle of it because of things that were happening. The Island of Missing Trees, I haven't even talked about this book. I'm a mid-year freak out, and like, that's so fucking crazy to think about, because this was an absolutely beautiful book that I absolutely fucking loved, and I recommend it for all of you. It might not be for everybody. Like, it kind of goes back and forth between times. It has like a narration of a fig tree. It's a little bit odd, but it is beautiful and heartbreaking. It got me going. It got the tears. They were flowing. The next one is The Swimmers. I talked about this already. I don't know if I said I cried the first time I was talking about it, but that was a book that made me cry. It got sad. There's the main character, like narrator, something happens to her and it's sad. The Girl He Used to Know made me cry. This is a book about an autistic girl, and you know, it happened like it took place in 2001, and so 9/11 happened in this book, and although I thought it was like a little weird at first, but then like the person who she loves like is kind of caught up in all of that, and she's scared that he like didn't make it. Of course he does. It's like a romance book, for fuck's sake. But like, you know, that like that scary type of thing that really got me going, tears flowing. The Book of Mother, another book. Wow, that one was really sad. Basically, it's you know, I watched this one guy, KD Books. I absolutely love him and his skits, but he was talking about the Book of Mother. He read all of the International Booker Prize books. I think he like kind of always does that. I just got introduced to him like this year, but he said that the Book of Mother is like kind of like the modern day The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, and at first I didn't know what that really meant because I hadn't read The Bell Jar, but I just recently read it last month. And honestly, I can kind of get what he's saying. It's a sad book about a mother who is not doing well mentally, and of course, they don't have the education that we have now, where it's like, hey, maybe don't like electrocute somebody to cure them. Like, maybe don't abuse people when they're in the ward. I don't know, something crazy like that. And so the mother was like manic depressive, that's what they called it, like bipolar basically. And the book is narrated by the daughter, one of the daughters, which by the way is the same name as the author, Violaine, I believe. I don't know, you saw it here when I put it up on screen. It starts with a V, I know that. And it's actually semi-autobiographical, just like The Bell Jar, so that's cool. And it made me cry because it was really sad. You know, I read it on the train, like on my way back from DC. I was like, maybe not the best vibe, but whatever. Last Night at the Telegraph Club, that book made me tear up a bit because I did not like the way it ended. It was a sad ending. This isn't a romance book. It's a I want to be with you even though I can't, and it's a lesbian romance in the 50s, and it's a lot of I can't be with you. The one girl is Chinese, and the other one is white, and it's in the 50s, and they're lesbians, like everything against them really, and so it makes it kind of really sad. Another one is Revival Season. This book was kind of hard to get through at points because, let's just say it made me cry. Like, I'm not here to say what it's about. I don't want to make these clips too long, but it was a sad one at parts. I can't say that I like cried at the ending or anything like that, right? Like a lot of the time it's like more like in the middle of things, like things happening and it's like too much and it's like... Other one is Ghost. I already said that. It made me cry. Another one is Rest and Be Thankful. This book I actually talked about in my January wrap-up. I act like I'm going to put a tag there, but see, I don't have a computer with me, and I can only do that on YouTube Studios when I have a computer. But my January wrap-up, if you go down and find it, maybe I'll put it in the description. I talked about this book and I like literally choked up, like started crying low-key because it is a very, very, very sad book about a very, very, very sad topic. And I'm so glad it was like as short as it was. And that's the first time you're ever, and probably the last time you're ever going to hear me say something like that, because I love a big book. I love a long book. I do. But this one was pretty short, and I'm glad that it was, because I don't know how much of that I could fucking handle. It was... I don't want to think about it. Another book that made me cry is freaking Loveless. That's crazy because I was reading this and I was annoyed with the main character and blah, 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 but it kind of turned around for the last 100 pages, and I was here for it. And they were putting on a production. Of course it's gonna make me cry. If that's one thing, like that kind of ending where they're like, they were working up for something, and then like the ending is like, and then we did it and it was a success. That's me. And then also things where it's like there was a part where Pip and Georgia were like fighting, and Pip loves like grand gestures. So Georgia, for Pip to ask for forgiveness, did a grand gesture. And I'm not here saying I love grand gestures, because like, yikes, like if somebody did that to me, I would lose my fucking shit. But when I see it on TV or read it, I love it. And so that was really cute, and that made me tear up a little bit. Okay. Now on to books that made me happy, which I have a weird two here, because here's the thing. Lots of these books made me happy. Like, lots of them have made me happy, but what's something that I just, like, turned my brain off and made me happy? That's what I'm trying to think of. Like, just, like, some messy messes, because I'm realizing how much I like a mess when it comes to my books. So one of them is Crazy Rich Asians, which I absolutely love. You know, I should have put that in my like biggest surprise like section too, because I wasn't expecting to like it at all, but I absolutely ate this book up. I had the second and third book in the series, and I can't wait to continue on with it. It was messy and weird and stupid and whimsical, and I was here for it. Another one that made me happy is A Curious Beginning. It really did. I was like, okay, this is just a vibe. It's just a vibe, and I'm here for it. That's all I must say about A Curious Beginning. It's a cozy mystery. What more could you ask for? So the next one is favorite book to screen adaptation. Fun fact about me, I don't fucking watch TV that much. That's not me. Especially, like, I only have Netflix. I don't have Netflix. And, you know, nowadays it's hard to watch much of anything when everything is on, like, a different platform, and, like, you have to pay money for each one of those platforms. It's kind of fucking scammy. It's kind of fucking annoying. We get it. But the only thing I have is Netflix, which is going downhill, as we all know. And so I don't have many exciting things happening with my watch life, except for Hunter x Hunter, which I'm loving right now, but that's not what this is about. I really want to see Heartstopper. That's one that I do want to watch, but I haven't actually read those books, and I kind of don't plan on it, but I kind of do at the same time. I don't know. Another one that I really, really want to watch, this is on HBO Max, is My Brilliant Friend. I really want to see that series adaptation on TV. I think that would be very interesting. I can't wait to actually, because I just need to get like a job so that I can like literally pay like $5.99, $6.99 a month for these things. Like, that's all I need. Like, I used to have Hulu, I used to have Disney Plus, but then I like stopped working, and so I deleted like having those things. But when I get back around to it, I'm gonna get like HBO to watch My Brilliant Friend. And I also want to watch Crazy Rich Asians, which I don't know what that's on at all. But that's another adaptation that I want to watch eventually. Not right now. And I haven't watched anything that I've read yet. I have a whole video that I'm planning on putting out about like all the adaptions that I want to watch. So stay tuned for that. The most beautiful book is the next question. And I luckily have both of my favorite book covers of this year so far in this room. First one, I have talked about this one already before, both in this video and in a video where I went on and on about the cover. Sage Tranquility, such a beautiful cover. It's like that like shimmery, but like barely, I don't know, it's just like, it's kind of perfect. The camera doesn't seem to do it justice. Like, if you see this in real life, you know what I mean. It's just like even when I first saw the picture, I didn't know it was like this extra layer of like this glittery, like, it looks textured, but it doesn't feel that way. But what a beautiful one. And then the other one is just this beautiful cover. You made a full of death with your beauty, and I absolutely love the title too. Like, come on. Everything about this book is like beautiful. And I hope the content inside is. I have no doubts that it will be. So I'm beautiful, beautiful book. And then this is my last question, which it's a very, very loaded question, I must say. But it says TBR for the rest of the year. A lot of other things. I don't know. TBRs are like they kind of change all the time for me. I don't really have like a strict like TBR. Like I'll just go to the library and pick up what I want to pick up. I'll scroll through Libby or Scribd and see something that looks interesting and then I'll read it. Like I don't really know what my TBR is, but I do have like kind of a tentative summer TBR where which was my last video. If you want to go check that out, I'll put a link in the description, or you could just go see my last video. I was with my boyfriend and we were talking about all the books we wanted to read this summer. So that's a little bit of a sneak peek of what I have on my TBR. I also have like my Goodreads link in the bio every single time, in the description every single time. If you want to see like what I add to my TBR at any given time, you are welcome to do that. That's it. That was the mid-year freakout tag. I've had a pretty great year of reading, and here's to the second half of it. And now I don't know what to say. I never know what buy, how to buy, how buy, goodbye, hi, bye. How do you say bye? I'm being stupid. I make weird jokes. Chubs? Are ready to go? She's like, go where, you fucking idiot? Okay. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you on the flip side. Meaning next Sunday.